Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill on this Tuesday. Got to hear from Rodney Garner today, Brent, and a more positive Coach Garner than when the last time we heard from him. I think he's pretty pleased with the group and the effort they're playing with through 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps talking about moving the needle, and I think through 3 games they've moved the needle in a positive direction. It changes, obviously, on Saturday, and he made reference to that multiple times, talking about life in the SEC. But I think what you're seeing out of him is in his satisfaction, it's a group that's buying in. And even Aubrey Solomon, who everyone understands did not buy in early on in the process, starting to buy in, and we'll see where he factors in moving forward. But it's a group that I think is committed to getting better, led by Matthew Butler.
Yeah, Butler has been playing at a high level, no doubt about it. I mean, when you looked at where how much his game has grown just in the last 3 or 4 years, but specifically last year to this year, he's just playing so much more confidently now. Coach Garner talked about how he's taking notes. He's a sponge. He constantly wants to learn. I think he's a great leader and representative of that room.
Well, I think he likes to be held to a high standard. And I think the maddening part for him last year was there wasn't a real standard for anybody to hold him to, because that was such an odd deal with not having a position coach. The head coach was trying to coach him. I think if you go back 2 years ago, he played pretty well under Tracy Rocker. Now he's 2 years older. He's further developed physically. He's got a better understanding of the game. I think that's why you're seeing him play at a better level.
Byron Young discussed having to sit out the 2 games. How it was, I asked him, I said, did it make it easier because it's somewhat all you've been through? And he said, no, it made it harder, because I felt like it just every time I want to take a step forward, I get knocked down. Step forward, knocked down. I think he's just kind of relishing the moment. I think he relished it Saturday. I think he'll relish it again this week going to Florida.
Well, I think I think getting the first one out of the way was big for him, just to kind of settle in and start to play. And at some point, the story of Byron Young is going to become, everybody's going to know, and he's going to have to stop talking about Flyers and Dollar General and all these other things. He becomes just a football player. And I think he's ready to get to that point. I don't think he played nearly as well as he wanted to. I think he pursued the ball well, but didn't make the plays he wanted. Rodney Garner talked about the rust factor and kind of knocking some of the rust off. We heard it last week. He was chomping at the bit to get out there. I think for him, it was a big deal to get one under his belt before he goes on the road and gets an SEC play. He'll be better this week against Florida because he got to play last week.
After walking through indoors yesterday, Tennessee's able to get out here today and get some work in. Had they're preparing for this team for the road. They had the Gator music playing and the crowd noise and all that stuff. First time on the road. Any idea what the percentage is on people that have never been on a plane before?
I don't know about that, but Jaquan Blakely's been to the swamp 3 times. He's taken up residency in Gainesville. I think it was big to get outside because it just got more room.
Yeah.
You can do everything you want to do and need to get done. So it looks like it's going to be really wet tomorrow, so I'm not sure they're going to get outside there. So it was important to get a day, and Tuesday is obviously a big day in terms of their prep. They got some guys who are going to get on a plane and go down there who've not made these kind of trips before, and it'll be an eye-opening experience for them, just the whole process of it all. But once you kick the ball and you start playing. And I think some of those things kind of get talked about, overbuilt a little bit too much. Once you start playing, it's about how good you are versus how good they are.
He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Tennessee last won at the Swamp in 2003. That's the last time I missed a game at the Swamp. Maybe I should miss Saturday.